Phase filters and graphic overrides determine the appearance of elements based on their phase status condition. A phase filter is a rule that is applied to a view to control the display of elements based on their phase status condition, which can either be existing, demolished, new, or temporary. On the Manage ribbon, in the Phasing panel, I'll click Phases. Revit displays the Phasing dialog. I'll switch to the Phase Filters tab. Here, you can see the default phase filters that already exist in the project. The name of each filter appears in the list on the left. To the right of this column, there is a separate column for each of the 4 phase status conditions. You can change the display option for each phase status for each phase filter, with the exception of the first filter in the list, Show All. For example, on line 2, Show Complete, when I click in the new column, a drop-down becomes available. When I expand this drop-down, I can change the display option from by category to either overridden or not displayed. When an option is set to by category, elements matching a given phase status will display using the graphic settings defined by their element category. When an option is set to overridden, elements matching a given phase status will display using the settings specified on the Graphic Overrides tab. And when set to not displayed, elements matching a given phase status will not display in the view when the phase filter is applied. Each Revit project contains the default phase filters you see in the dialog. Show All shows all of the elements in the view, including new elements, existing elements, demolished elements, and temporary elements. The display of new elements is controlled by the graphic setting for each element category. The display of existing, demolished, and temporary elements is determined by the settings on the Graphic Overrides tab. As you can see, this filter is dimmed and therefore cannot be modified. Show Complete shows only new and existing elements based on their element categories. Demolished and temporary elements do not display. If you apply this filter, you see only elements that exist at the end of the phase. Show Demo plus New shows new elements using the graphic setting for each category. Existing elements are not displayed, and demolished and temporary elements display based on settings on the Graphic Overrides tab. Show New shows only new elements added to the building model, with their appearance based on each element category. Show Previous plus Demo shows only existing and demolished elements, with their appearance based on settings on the Graphic Overrides tab. Show Previous plus New shows new elements based on their category, and existing elements with their appearance based on settings on the Graphic Overrides tab. Demolished and temporary elements do not display. And Show Previous Phase shows only existing elements, with their appearance based on settings on the Graphics Overrides tab. New, demolished, and temporary elements do not display. Note that in the first phase of a project, existing elements are new to that phase, so applying the Show Previous Phase filter would result in no elements being displayed. To add a new phase filter, click New. Revit immediately adds a new filter. It initially names this Filter 1. You can then change the name of the filter and adjust any of the settings in the New, Existing, Demolished, and Temporary columns. To delete the phase filter I just created, I'll click its number to select that row, and then click Delete. On the Graphic Overrides tab, for each phase status, you can adjust the overrides that are applied to an element's graphic display whenever a phase filter is set to overridden. you can adjust the projection surface display of lines and patterns, the appearance of cut lines and patterns, apply halftones, and change the material displayed for each face status. For example, when I click the existing face status line, the fields in each column become available. Under Projection Surface, I'll click in the Lines column. Revit displays the Line Graphics dialog. Here, I can choose the line weight, color, and pattern applied to existing projection and surface lines. Or I can click Clear Overrides, in which case the appearance of these graphic elements will be controlled by their element settings. I'll click Cancel to close this dialog. Under Projection Surface, when I click in the Patterns column, Revit displays the Fill Pattern Graphics dialog. Here, I can choose whether patterns will be visible, and if so, adjust their color and pattern. Again, there is a Clear Overrides button, but in this case, the button is dimmed, because for the existing status, the projection and surface patterns are not currently overridden. I'll click OK to close the dialog. Under Cut, the tools in the Lines and Patterns columns work the same way, but they control the graphic display of elements that are cut in the view. When you select halftone, elements matching the display state will display as halftone. And if you click in the Material field, a More button becomes available. When you click the More button, Revit displays the Material browser, so you can choose the material used for the particular face status. Revit comes with materials for the demolition, existing, new, and temporary face states. I'll click Cancel to close the Material browser.